Welcome to another episode of me flipping PC until I'm able to buy a house. Today did start with me actually receiving the return that a customer had sent back to me. It's a docking station, and if you saw the last video I made, I actually did tell you that this docking station has been returned twice. The first customer didn't want to have it just because the resolution wasn't working perfectly with his OLED TV, and the second person that bought it returned it just for no reason. It didn't really tell me why he was returning it. So in the last video I made, I was just saying I don't think I actually want to say this again, because if an item has been returned once and twice, definitely the item is simply just saying, I don't want to be sold. Sometimes it is what it is, but the beautiful thing is that the customer in this case has actually put a lot of effort in sending the item responsibly back to me. Pretty decent packaging. So in the event of this box falling down, it's not going to affect whatever it's inside. I've actually seen worse situations where people just send back your item with little or no regards to safety, but this is not the case, thankfully enough. I'm just going to go ahead and open it to see what's inside, and hopefully it's exactly the same item I have sent, to the buyer. Yes, everything looks like it should be. Nothing broken, nothing destroyed. I'm still having a feeling that perhaps I might want to list this item one more time, just to give it one final possibility to sell. But one thing I want to actually do is to really test this thing again to be sure that it's not like something is defective somewhere and that's the reason why people are just returning it. But we'll see. This is actually not what I have planned for today. I'm just going to keep it up somewhere in the shelf. I will possibly, come back to this. But the good thing is that yesterday I did meet up a guy in the city, and he was actually giving away this pallet, and I saw this pallet and I felt like this was exactly what I have been wanting to have for a very long time. I have some monitors in the warehouse, that are just lying around, and I felt like this pallet would actually enable me, keep these monitors tidy. So I did drive to the address about 12 kilometers from my warehouse. Thankfully, it was free, so there was no cost attached to it. So I picked it up, and they are actually looking in the very best condition. If you take a look at them, nothing is broken. They are pretty much new and very stable. Exactly what I've been needing for my monitor. So I'm quickly going to take it up and make sure the monitors are quickly placed on it. In this way, these monitors are actually protected from destruction. They've been lying around for a long time. I've actually not listed them on eBay, and because of that, every day I pass through the monitors, it just appears like sometimes I might kick one of them and the screen might be broken. But if I have to put them on this pallet, then definitely I'm going to be protecting them, and there's not going to be an issue with broken screens or even possibly an accident in the warehouse. So whenever things like this are lying on the ground, it's always best for you to kind of see how you can actually clean the space, especially when you are always walking around. When I come to the warehouse, there's always something to do. There's always something to pick up, and I do not want to be involved in any form of accident. This actually is just going to protect me. Also, go a long way to protecting the monitors. So once again, to the young guy that gave me this pallet for free, if you are watching the video, I really do want to say a very big thank you. So in the last video, I did say that I was going to prioritize, listing new items, because I haven't been listing a lot. And because of that, my sales just kind of fell down the cliff. So today, the first thing I'm going to do is to make sure I spend about an hour just listing items. In this way, I can guarantee that the eBay algorithm sees that I'm kind of active, and possibly I might get a sale as I am doing that. So I was able to list a Fujitsu Celsius W530 decent PC. I got this a few days ago, but it was just here with me. But luckily, because I am going to prioritize listing in the next few weeks, this has been set up. It took me about 40 minutes to actually list this item. I tend to list my items as variations, and because of that, it takes a little bit longer for me to actually set up this listing. But everything is in, nice pictures. But the beautiful thing is that I had these pictures before, so taking pictures wasn't actually part of the process. And this is one way you can actually save yourself a lot of time. If you have old pictures, do not delete them. Even if the offer has been sold, just have a way of keeping your old pictures, because you can never tell when you will actually have the same item again. If it happens like that, all you have to do is to gather the old pictures, and it makes your listing process very, very fast. See, like I imagined while listing, this PC here actually did sell. This is interesting because this is a PC I've had for quite a long time. I listed it well over 2 months ago. It wasn't selling, and for nowhere, this PC has been sold. Take a look at the inside of the PC. It's very, very dusty. It actually came like this. I remember I did buy like 8 pieces of this PC, and over time, I have sold like 4 of them, and the remaining ones have just been here, not being sold. I wasn't really pushing it because I felt like it was one cheap PC and there's really nothing more to the PC. But thankfully, now that it's sold, the first thing I have to do is to make sure I quickly clean it up because it is really, really dusty inside. To that, I'm going to be using my wife's hairdryer because the dust blower I did buy a few months ago is actually broken. And every time I've been telling myself, I actually need to get another dust blower. I've not been able to finally find time to just, buy one off of Amazon. But thankfully, the hairdryer is here. I can still use it for today. Hopefully, my wife doesn't make a problem out of it. And definitely, the front blend has to be taken out because it's also very possible that there are a lot of fluffs hiding in front of it. Just like I imagined, there's a lot of stuff hiding here and they are all going to be taken out. But then this front blend actually looks very dirty and it doesn't matter how I try to blow it out. The best thing I can actually do is just to go ahead and wash it because I know this kind of front blend for the HP PCs, the front blend is always such that even if you try to use a small brush to brush them out, it still has a way of looking very dusty and unkept. And from my experience, whenever I have situations like this, I just want to take this front blend to the sink and give it a very gentle wash. In this way, I'm super sure that everything is clean. And whoever is going to receive this PC is going to see a PC that is looking very clean, nothing annoying. And this might just be the best thing to do in this case. Of course, if you ever want to use water to wash, your PC parts, you have to be careful that after washing it, you have to actually ensure that you properly dry it before installing it back onto the PC. Today is not so sunny, but thankfully enough, it's also very windy. So in this case, I can actually put this front blend outside on my car and just give it some few hours to properly dry out. And thereafter, I'm going to return it onto the PC. It's kind of interesting how when you decide to list on a platform, things just have a way of selling. The algorithm is already built like that. Whenever you are active, definitely the algorithm sees your account and say, hey, I think this seller is awake. Let us push transaction his way. And while cleaning this PC, I did get the eBay notification when I took a look. This laptop here had sold. Beautiful transaction. Beautiful laptop. But in the last video I made for my tech YouTube channel, I did take out the VVAN card on this laptop. So definitely I have to quickly return the VVAN card to this laptop so that I can actually set it up to be sent out also today. Now it appears that it might be a busy day after all. Luckily, the VVAN card is actually not so difficult to install. I actually did take it out just by unlocking one of the screws. So hopefully I should be able to return it back and just put the connecting cables. Definitely this buyer is going to be getting a very good deal because in the offer which I actually did put on eBay, I didn't include the fact that this laptop comes with a VVAN card. Even though I have the option of taking it out, I want to leave it there because you may never tell. The buyer might decide to use this laptop with a SIM card. And in this case, he doesn't have to run into any problems. Also, taking a look at the transaction, the buyer did buy this laptop with a 16GB of DDR4 RAM. And on this laptop right now, I do have 2 modules of 16GB Vengeance DDR4 RAM. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop them out and actually get 2 modules of 8GB SK Hynix RAM and just install on this laptop. In this way, the buyer has the 16GB which he had ordered, and on this laptop is a 256GB NVMe SSD which is already right here. But as you can see here, the battery on this laptop is missing because one way or the other, I did use the battery for a different laptop that sold. So I did go ahead to order a new one on Amazon, and I'm just going to go ahead and also install it here. In this way, I have this laptop ready to be shipped out. But in the meantime, I really do think that the front blend on the PC should now be dry and be ready to be installed. All right, like I imagined, everything is home and dry, looking very clean, looking very professional. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop it onto the PC. If you ever have to install a front blend on your PC, be careful because there are some clips on the side, and if you push it wrongly into the PC, you are going to have a situation where the front clips are broken, and when they are broken, sometimes the front blend is not sitting properly and is actually not the best thing to do. So just take it easy. Don't be in a hurry while you are doing it. And if you do it properly, it's just going to look like this. The buyer actually did order this PC with a 2GB of DDR4 RAMs, and I've got here decent RAM sticks, 16GB modules of Vengeance DDR4 RAMs. I'm going to be installing it on this PC, and in this way, the buyer has a very decent PC looking very clean with 32GB of DDR4 RAM. And in addition to that, buyer also bought this PC with 256GB of SSD. And because this PC is looking very clean, it's in a very good condition, I don't want to take chances on this PC. I'm actually going to be installing a brand new SSD on it. In this way, I'm super sure that the buyer is going to be receiving something that still can last for a very, very long time. Of course, when I created this offer, there was no indication that this PC is going to be shipped with new SSDs. But yesterday, I did go to the city to try to buy SSDs for one of my contacts. Unfortunately, I missed him by the whiskers because there was a lot of traffic, and one way or the other, I got to his address too late. I wasn't able to pick up the SSDs I was supposed to pick up. And given that I really do want this PC shipped out today, I just don't want to keep delaying things and, waiting to go back again tomorrow. I feel like on this transaction, I can just go ahead and install a new SSD on this PC. Alright, so far so good. Everything appears to be super chill. In between, a Plantronics headphones also sold, which is kind of good. This sold for pretty much cheap. And given that I still have time today, I still can actually go ahead to pack these headphones while also packing the PC as well as the laptop. Honestly speaking, these headphones are pretty much in new condition, even though I have listed them as used, but they have not been used in any way. If you take a look at this, it still has the original sticker that comes with it. And it has all the manuals. So I'm just going to put everything in here. And the buyer should definitely be happy, to receive something like this. Sometimes we get things like this. I bought a lot of this, pretty much over 100 pieces. And they have been selling very, very good over time. It's a one-eared headphone from Plantronics. Good quality, decent design. I still do have about a few pieces left. I just have to take a look so that I can update the listing on eBay. And also a 128GB NVMe SSD also sold, which I'm also going to go ahead and pack it. So today, even though I had no idea that it was going to be a busy day, ended up becoming a very busy day. Also a very productive day because I was able to meet my listing target for the day. And as if that was not enough, I have had very decent sales, a laptop, a PC, a headphone, as well as an SSD, and it is barely 15 o'clock in the afternoon. So there is every possibility that a lot of stuff might still be sold even before the end of today. So if you have been slacking also with your listing goals, I want to beg you, go ahead and see how you can actually, list items, because the more you list, the more the algorithm tends to favor you. And the more you decide not to list, gradually the algorithm is also going to see you like somebody that is not active and just has a way, of not bringing traffic to you. If you decide to flip PC for profit, yes, I understand that sometimes listing item might not be the most fun part. Some of us just have fun, actually going out sourcing, configuring these PCs, troubleshooting them. Yes, even though listing is not a task that is particularly very interesting, you have to also create time to do it, because if you are not actively listing your items, first, you're going to be tying your money down, because then you're just going to have items you bought. They are just sitting there looking at you. They are not being sold. So your money is actually not working for you. But then if you go ahead to list item, first, you're not going to be having this debt pile. And the more you can keep your account active, the more you can actually get to make a lot of sales. I must say that this is one of the most effortless shipping I've done in recent time. Everything has been pretty much very stress-free. Didn't have a problem packing the PC. Also didn't have a problem packing the laptop. So hopefully with these items being packed, I'm going to go ahead and take them to the post office. It's already running late. It's about 4:30 already in the day. And the delivery driver should actually be leaving in about 15 minutes. So I'm just going to hurry up a little bit, take this item in my car. In this way, I do not have to miss the delivery driver. And thereafter, I'm just going to drive home because it has really been, a full day. But luckily, It has been stress-free, and I am actually grateful for that. In the last video, I also did tell you that a laptop was supposed to be returned to me. I did go ahead to write the buyer that, look, from what you have described, it's very possible that if you go ahead to update the drivers on this laptop, the problem actually be fixed. Up to now, I haven't heard from the buyer. Hopefully, this proposition solves the bad problem, and if it does, that will be super great. If it doesn't, the buyer is going to return the laptop to me, and unfortunately, I have to actually make a refund. It was just a 196 euro sales. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed. Hopefully, this doesn't have to be the case. In the meantime, if you did get value out of this video, please go ahead and click on the like button, subscribe to the channel. Until I see you again in the next one, peace.